So, ẹ káàsán, ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́, ẹ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta gbogbo ibikíbi tí àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n ń wò wá ní wákàtí ìbá wà. Nǹkan ìdùnnú ló jẹ́ fún mi ní èní. I'm very, very pleased, very, very proud to be one of the media people that takes the issue of interacting with the national chairman of our organization very seriously. And it's also a privilege. And I don't take it for granted. It's a thing of joy for me. So tonight, I have the national leader of our movement, Professor Banji Akintoye. He's an icon. He's well known all over the world. But with your permission, sir, and because I also from what people are saying all over the place, the issue of Kaso Yoruba is becoming too profound. It's becoming too popular. Baba, Yoruba. Russian will speak Yoruba. They speak Russians. So we should engage more in speaking our language. So amama change here. Because what many people do not understand, many years back, they took our language away. And they're supposed to take it back. Okay, you're back, sir.
Yeah.
Sir. So a good example is India. India took everything, copy everything from the British, but they insist in their food, in their dressing mode, and then in their language. They kept it. But for some reasons, our own people, our own Yoruba, Igbo, and so on, they copied virtually everything, even Ashawangogon, on copy. So, but that is not the major focus today. The major focus is to have a kind of interactive session with you, to go through a couple of things that have been going on in the polity. Yes, the polity will have been, if we have assisting government, but then very soon, like by Lady Mary. But I want to ask you first, as much as we have gone through a lot in terms of a couple of months ago, I want to be specific. One of the supposedly to be a leader had taken the course of this project somewhere else. And in the process, she has also created a kind of a division. Many people are now leaking and saying, I want to buy. Thank God the traffic is becoming more moderate, that is not as bad as before, because the mentality, the mindset, the thinking of unknowingly, this is a project that is just not overnight. It's just not something like that. But Papa, I want to say this to you. This is a more of a national dimension. This program now. See that outstanding issue, yes, sir.
Mo dúpẹ́, mo kí gbogbo yín o, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ o. Ọlọ́run tó sì wà pẹ̀lú yín, a máa wà pẹ̀lú yín o, a máa wà pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá níbikíbi tá a bá wà, àtàwọn ọmọ wa àtàwọn ọmọ kéékèèké tí ò tiẹ̀ mọ nǹkan tá à ń sọ. Mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín. Ṣé ẹ rí ọ̀rọ̀ self-determination? People think it is something you can do and wrap up in a year or two. It is not so. It's a long process. It cannot but be a long process. Because what is happening is that there is already a country, a large country like Nigeria, or a small country like Cameroon, or a medium-sized country like Sudan before the creation of South Sudan. And you want to exit from that country and take your own people to go and become a separate new country of their own. It has never been an easy and short process in any situation. It cannot be. the people who are ruling the country from which you want to get out are sure to put up a fight to say, no, we won't let you go. They may be totally disorganized, totally incapable to provide anything good for their people. But still they will think that they have a duty to keep their people together, to keep the people they regard as their people together. So you have a situation, for instance, like Nigeria, where a small ethnic group was invested with power at independence and has been using that power to try and subdue the rest of Nigeria. You have that. And now they have reached a point at which they are now saying they are going to conquer and subjugate all the rest of Nigeria, including the Yoruba, the Igbo, all the peoples of Nigeria. It's an absurd situation. You don't find such an extreme situation in any country in the world, but we have it in Nigeria. And when people say, no, we can't continue to be part of it, we want to go away and have a modern country of our own, a modern country of our own, not the kind of barbarous country that Nigeria is. The government will put up a fight to say, no, you cannot go away. It's inevitable. And so self-determination struggles are usually long things. We reached a point because we were succeeding so much with our contact with the people, with our rallies, with our contact with the international community, and so on. We reached a point at which some people thought, and some of your own leaders thought too, that we could get our country in the past few months. It is not possible.
Right, sir. Baba,
and so what we are faced with is that our people they want their country now, today. They want their country now, and that's a healthy thing. They want their country now. It's a very healthy thing.
Yes.
But we must recognize that now may not be today. It may be next month, it may be next year. The important thing is that we must not let the struggle go down.
Yes.
And I'm happy to report from my position as a leader and observer of all, that the Yoruba self-determination struggle is not going down at all. It's becoming more and more mature. More and more people are offering their services in the areas that count. The areas that count. Like, for instance, in the area of diplomacy, that is reaching other countries, other governments, and telling them our story and asking for support. More and more of our people are coming forward. More and more of our men who know the game in that area are coming up and offering their services, so that our diplomatic efforts in some countries have become very, very effective indeed, very competent, because we have the right sort of men there. We thank God for that.
Yeah.
So we can say today that we are much stronger than we were last week, okay. And we are going to grow stronger next week than we are this week. We will soon reach a point at which we will be irresistible. Our struggle will become irresistible, and we will be able to get out of Nigeria. Because we must get out of Nigeria.
Yes.
Nigeria has become a killer.
Yes.
By mean killer, I don't mean merely killing human beings. It kills ambition.
Yes.
It kills culture. It kills ambition. It kills decency. It kills expectations. It kills hope. And it makes people become brutish. So that you will find a situation in which people of your own ethnic nation seeking to liberate themselves from Nigeria are giving you more trouble than the enemy himself, than the Fulani. The trouble with the Fulani is quite easy. They want to subdue us. They are not going to subdue us. We know that. And our young men are putting up different kinds of resistance. And we are also getting the international community to recognize what is happening. So they cannot subdue us. But your own people can destroy the struggle if they go on the way we are going on. There is too much of a fight within the family, and it ought not to be so. I don't see why we are fighting one another. We want to get out of Nigeria and start a country of our own. We are absolutely sure, because we are Yoruba, we are absolutely sure that we can build a great modern country. And so we are struggling to get a situation in which we can have our modern country in our hands and build it into power and wealth and greatness in the world. So why are we fighting one another? Why? So the rest of the world doesn't understand that. Yeah. And sometimes even we ourselves don't understand it. It's like there is an evil force pushing Yoruba people to oppose Yoruba people with everything and anything. And it is a pity.
Baba, on a more critical line of thinking, and when your colleagues so you the opening address yìí sí, àwọn èèyàn kan sọ pé baba ẹ̀yin lórí ẹgbẹ́ ní ìgbà tí a year ago you are in position pé kẹ́ ẹ sọ fún wa pé ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ẹ wá ẹ jókòó ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣàlàyé fún yín kíní yóò ṣe nǹkan tí a lè gbà láàrin 1 month to 3 months 6 months nígbà míì gangan if care is not taken ó lè take longer like that. A lot of people are now saying ni pé ẹ bá ti sọ fáwọn ẹ tẹ́ bá sọ lábẹ́ gé tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ sọ, because not only that you over qualify for leadership of this movement, but tẹ́ bá ti sọ fún wa pé bàbá àmì pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ mi ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ó máa ṣe báyìí ní process and procedure àwọn báyìí ló máa gbà ó. They are now saying ọ̀nà tí wọ́n sọ pé tí ògiri ò bá lanu alágbó ò lè wọbẹ̀ ẹni tó kàn dé lọ́sàn-án kan tá a gbà wọlé. I mean, I take part of the but I can say to you, sir, I remember very well when the issue of this file signature wọlé, we all rally around thinking. So the point again, sir, if you have done what you are saying now to a large number of people, they will now know, look, wọ́n ti sọ fún wa pé ó máa pẹ́ o, but ó lè má pẹ́, a lè ló máa pẹ́ kó yá, a dẹ̀ lè sọ kó máa yá kó lọ pẹ́, which is normal thing. A large number of people are saying, bàbá ò sọ fáwọn, bàbá ò sọ fáwọn, tẹ́nì kọ́kàn ní sọ pé ẹbẹ́ ni èmi kàn fún yín ní what the public are saying. It's my job to relay back to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. More admit.
Thank you, sir.
General posture was, let's go, come on, let's go. Contribute, make your own contribution. Everything you can do to contribute to the struggle. Now. And that's natural. That, every leader will do that. But yes. I confess to the fact that we didn't say this is going to be a long struggle.
Yes.
I agree. I accept. I plead guilty to that. We didn't stress that enough. We were stressing, go, contribute, now, move. Let us move. Yes. That's what we were stressing. Yes. But no matter how I say, let us move, there is a reality we cannot jump over.
Benny.
We are faced with
okay, sir.
We are faced with getting our 60 million Yoruba people out of a country of 200 million. The largest country in Africa, the largest economy in Africa, the largest military in Africa, the 25th largest army in the world, 25th largest army in the world, 25th strongest army in the world. We want to get ourselves out of that kind of country, we must be ready to fight it.
Then.
We must be, and Yoruba, we are good at fighting. Some of what people have done in the diaspora, far away from the center of the struggle, on their own, without even consulting with anybody, is incredible. We are a great nation. some of the materials that I received from members of the Yoruba nation, from Yoruba people in the diaspora, about what we should do now, what we should move, how we are going to develop our country when we have it, especially how we are going to develop our country, how we get it. This is how we should do it. This is how we should do it. I have a whole tome, a whole large collection of documents, and I'm proud when I read some of them. I am proud that I belong to the same nation as the writers of these things. It's unbelievable. The Yoruba nation is unbelievably strong. We do not know it. We think, oh, because we are in Nigeria and we have been overruled by a smaller country. The Fulani are just about 7 million in Nigeria, and we are 60 million in that Nigeria, the largest single ethnic group on the African continent. Yeah. Yes. And we are not doing well, so it tends to create the impression that we are not fighting. We are fighting. You, Yoruba man, Yoruba woman, everywhere I say to you, you are fighting. And your fighting is gorgeous, awesome. But in spite of that, we are still fighting with a country, especially with a people and a pre-modern people. The Fulani are a pre-modern people. They are not a modern people in any sense. And they are thinking of ancient ways in which people relate to people. You want to subdue us. You want to rule over us. You want to conquer us. What kind of language is that in the 21st century? But that's what you want. And you are doing everything to try to achieve it. You are bringing Fulani from all over West Africa, creating the doctrine that Allah has given you Nigeria, and that the Fulani must go out and conquer Nigeria for themselves, and converting the Nigerian government into a Fulani government, making the Fulani the controller of every area of Nigerian security, and so on. You are doing all of that. And as one of your men said on video yesterday that I saw last night, he said, we are doing it and they have no right to stop us. Yeah, we are doing all of this. When we appointed our men to be the controllers of all the Nigerian military and security and so on, what did they do? You cannot do anything against us. You cannot stop us. But we hear such things. We hear such things. Yeah. We are going to kill, maim, destroy, and unleash the Mujahideen. Who are the Mujahideen? Militarized masses of people against you, and so on. Where those are the languages a long, long time ago. They are not the languages of modern times. So we Yoruba have to find our way, our modern way around it. Many countries in the world can't even understand us when we tell them what is happening to us. They cannot, because they cannot imagine. They are being ruled by modern people who cannot understand. What are you talking? They want to what? Subdue you? Why? They are converting the whole army of your country into a Fulani army. Well, are you sure? Is that possible? They are converting the security in your country into totally Fulani controlled security. The Fulani, who are they? Why would they do a thing like? Why would they even attempt a thing like that? But that's what they are attempting to do. It's not that they are attempting. That's what they have done in many respects. So it is not easy. Explaining the Nigerian situation to the modern man anywhere in the world is a very, very arduous task.
Very
don't let us deceive ourselves.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't understand what we are talking about. And so the answer is, and keep at it, keep talking to them, sending out the materials. Fortunately, the Secretary General of the United Nations gave us a chance to put something in the press, in the public. and today, tomorrow, the day after. And that is the statement which is said. United Nations is worried about hate speech in Nigeria because the United Nations fears it is going to affect the election and so on. Hate speech in Nigeria? Other people saying hate speech against the Fulani in Nigeria? It is the Fulani who are. One statement from them said, we took learning from the barbarian Yoruba and their filthy gods, filthy pagan gods. In 1966, the Igbo, the barbarian Igbo, tried to stop us, and they paid a big price, and now they are broken in the same country. People are saying those types of things in the same country, and the United Nations is not noticing it. All that we are noticing is that people are now mentioning Fulani, and therefore that becomes hate speech. The greatest hate speech ever in the history of the modern world is coming from the Fulani against the rest of us. And people don't seem to understand it. So we need to make it understood. So I have an answer now today coming out. It has taken me days to put it together, to write it. It is coming out, and you will see it. We are suffering from totally barbaric, non-modern types of assault in the world.
Yeah.
But our weakness is that it is difficult for us to explain fully to other people in the world and to get them to understand. They can't understand what we are talking about. It's too barbaric for them to understand. It's too anti-modern. So that's our problem.
Benny,
and therefore we must be ready to fight until we win. We have no choice. We have no other choice than to fight until we win. People say, oh, Baba, people are saying bad things about you. I said, don't sympathize with me. That's part of the war.
Exactly.
That's part of the war. I cannot, because they are fighting at me, come and sit down and begin to mope at what they are saying about me, against me. No!
And you're not going to be an exemption anywhere in the whole world. I said that to everybody. The who is who of this world, who are leaders of the first world, second world, whatever, they have to go through that kind of thing. But the only difference is some people do not know where to start and end, because there are a large number of these innuendos. There are a large number of them are just private matters. There's nothing to do with the ability, the cognitive arrangement that a leader has to do the job. This private matter that happens to Clinton, that happens to about this, about that, is nothing to do with what the leadership you are offering the Yoruba people. But because of time, because I'm looking at your time, so I know you are so loaded. I know if I allowed you on every question, you can take so much time. So, Baba, another thing that I wanted to touch, before I go there, let me use this opportunity at this point to say to àwọn tí wọ́n ń wò wá ń sìn, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ help share, love, like, and subscribe. Well, I normally don't say that before, but please I now say it. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bá wa pé àwọn tó kù wá. I've been trying to make sure that yesterday there was problem with connection. So, and then we are rescheduling what it is now. This for me exclusive interview with the national leader of the Yoruba Self Determination Movement, Professor Banji Akintoye, that is worldwide known as a leader. But I have mixed questions I have here. Let me quickly ask you. A large number of people are still saying, again, it's also part of what people like me have been saying to them. Election of anybody has nothing to do with this process, because election today process here is in motion. It's nothing to do with us, because I came out to say to people, believe in main reason I said to everybody, because means another 4 years, 8 years, you are not going to get it. Your life is not going to change. Wọ́n ní kẹ́ máa pọn mi sápẹ̀rẹ̀. Àwọn tó ń ṣe irú yẹn pé bàbá mólè náà wọ́n ní kó wọ́n fún ní ìgbálẹ̀, wọ́n ní kó máa lọ gbálẹ̀, punishment ẹ̀ nìyẹn. Kẹ́ máa pọn mi sápẹ̀rẹ̀, kí lẹ ṣe fún wọn? Because they are not going to change it. Ẹni tó wà ní Mushin kò ní kó máa rí náà, ẹni tó wà ní Kẹ̀nẹ́ kò ní kó máa rí jó máa rí nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀. So let me ask you this question, sir. Baba, do you want to confirm? Is there election to máa ṣe lọ́la yìí? Is there anything to do with us? Probably I want you to say yes or no. Is it going to affect our push, our movement, our arrangement, the determination to get what we want?
Yes, let me now tell you the truth. We who are in the leadership of this struggle have had a lot of thinking and planning to do concerning the election. We have come as a result of our very deep inner studies of the situation. We have come to certain conclusions, and the conclusions are looking good for us. One is that even though they say they are going on with an election tomorrow, there's no certainty that is going to be the usual kind of election that we have seen in Nigeria. We've seen a lot of rough elections, but tomorrow's election does not look, it's not that we wish it so. The people who are running Nigeria are organizing it in such a way that it will be a tough and dirty and nasty election. And I just pray for the ordinary person, the ordinary child who is playing in front of his house, his parents' house. I pray for Nigerian people that God will protect them in the midst of all the rough and tumble of an election tomorrow. Secondly, if we manage to wade through tomorrow to a result of the election, I fear that result will lead to titanic problems. I pray it doesn't, but I fear so. And everything points to the direction of that fear will be realized, that the result of the election will lead to some titanic problems, probably an explosion or a series of explosions. Don't let us deceive ourselves. I fear that even in the midst of the election tomorrow, the authorities can do what Nigerian authorities can do, namely simply stop the election. Or while the election results have been announced, simply stop the announcement. Or some people could claim that they have taken over the government of the country and cancel the election or stop the election, whichever. In Nigeria, such weird things are now possible. And we have walked gradually downwards to them in our history. We Nigerians have walked gradually downward. I compared the Nigeria today with Nigeria of 1970s, when we young intellectuals across the country put together a party called the Unity Party of Nigeria under the leadership of the awesome leader called Obafemi Awolowo. We had Nigeria in our hands, and we were proud of it. There was a lot to be proud of. There was a lot to be proud of. We had the resources. We had the most educated country in Africa. We had ambitious people, have some of the best universities in the British Commonwealth, and so on. And so we thought, we take these resources, we can build Nigeria into a great modern power. I was one of the young intellectuals who used to brag that we are on the way to building Nigeria into the black man's world power of modern times. Can anybody say that about Nigeria today? It is no longer. We once had a Nigeria that had a future, an enviable future. We don't have such a country anymore.
No.
And we should not deceive ourselves. It is partly because of that some people want to leave Nigeria now. We've seen enough. We've seen enough of the progression, the decline. We've seen enough of it. We've seen enough of the growth of poverty. Yeah, we've seen enough of insecurity. We've had enough of, oh, wanted to panya me wane keneka. I want Fulani to panya la oro ko bibai. What is keneka? Oh, baba kan to lo so ko sare lo wo keneka no ko. I want to power ku e wa ni le lo na mbe yen. Ya wo to obìnrin to lo so ko. Want to stop her, I want to rape her, gang rape her, and so on. We have had enough of that. We have had enough of that. But that's what you must do in order to conquer and subjugate the rest of us.
Sir.
Yeah, we don't say you shouldn't do it. All we are saying is that we don't want to belong to the arena where you are doing it anymore. We don't want to become to the geographical area where you are doing it anymore. You can continue to do it forever. But we Yoruba and other peoples like the Igbo have said enough is enough. We don't want to be part of that anymore. So that's our situation. And the world needs to understand that. Our message is not a message of hate. Hate, no. No, we are too busy positively fighting peacefully to get out. That we have no room for hate speech. What we have room for is positive speech that will explain to the world the kind of thing that we are suffering. That is it.
Yes, sir.
And to let them know that it is not because we hate the Fulani. The Yoruba people by nature, by culture, we don't hate any non-Yoruba people. We don't. It's our tradition from the beginning of our history. That our homeland is a place that other people can come to peacefully, settle down, become whatever they want to become. Some become chiefs and so on. Our homeland is like that. Yeah, our philosophical underpinning says, a stranger is coming, foreigner is coming. Accept him and take care of him and help him, because there are some benefits in your doing that. And what are the benefits? Special blessings from God. So we open our doors to foreigners.
Yes.
So, and if you are good behavior, we'll let you become whatever you're capable of becoming. Even a chief among us. That's the Yoruba way. That is still the Yoruba way today.
Amaluabi.
So we don't hate the Fulani at all. We just want to separate ourselves from the Fulani.
Yeah, again, like
because the way they are moving, the direction they are moving are weird to us, and we don't want to continue to suffer from the direction they are moving. That's all.
Okay, Baba, thank you very much for all this. Again, I want to use this opportunity to say to our viewers, please help me share, love, like, and subscribe, and give me click to notify other people or yourself next time around. I want to highly appreciate your coming to this show. There's some other area I also want to touch. Recently, there have been these kind of innuendos. There have been kind of people saying these kind of things through one. I think the only one left is outlets. Outlets for
that what?
The lot of innuendos, a lot of people saying different kind of stupid things, things that got nothing to do with this journey. They just like start behaving like when Moses was trying to take his people, and then he only go up just for a couple of hours or so before he come down. But figuratively, they started misbehaving. So millions of our people are not really disturbed about ìwà táwọn kan hù, ọ̀rọ̀kọ́rọ̀ tó ń sọ, ìwà tó ń hù tó ń ṣe pá tó ń ṣàwò. It's nothing to do with this journey. We have an able, capable, highly qualified leadership, and ìyẹn là ń jẹ, ìyẹn là ń tẹ̀lé. But I'm just looking at some of the comments. Majority of people are still insisting. When I introduced you, I said many people are insisting that Yoruba should be more spoken than English. And I want to say to them, I don't want to speak for you. Baba will have to gradually, not that Baba Ogbo, not like Baba Ogbo Yoruba, Baba Ogbo Yoruba. But for some reasons, Baba is like maybe the professorship in him, it may be the English in him that he has taught in university and so on and so forth. But I'm not speaking for you, sir. Baba, eba mi ṣàlàyé fún àwọn èèyàn, why is it difficult for you to speak more Yoruba than English? Eba mi ṣàlàyé fún àwọn èèyàn, sir.
There are cultural reasons, but there are also clear objective reasons today, given our condition. There's a cultural reason where Molosi school became a lecturer, developed to become a professor, had to communicate my education to my students all over the world in English. So naturally, I tend to communicate better in English. And I want to communicate as good as I can. So I tend to lapse into English. I ask you to forgive me for doing that, but that's the one way that you can get the best out of me.
Okay.
The second reason is this. We are a people in the world of billions of people, of hundreds of countries. We are trying to get ourselves to liberate ourselves. We need that we be understood by the rest of the world. Especially there are some sections of the world who are very powerful in the affairs of the world. We need to get them to understand what we are doing. And so when I stand before you like this, I know that I'm not only speaking to Yoruba people, I'm speaking to the rulers of various countries around the world. Persons whom I have had contact with, but they see me, they don't believe that I'm lying when I'm describing the Nigerian situation. They don't believe I'm lying, but they don't understand. I'm saying things that are weird to them. And I must, when I face you, I must also make it possible for them to understand without any interpretation of or any such thing, translation. I need to speak to you, my people, in a way that the world where we need help will hear us and understand us. It is very important. And that's the objective reality. The cultural reality is that you have a man who was sent to school as a little boy. School. So then secondary school. So then secondary school, university, to higher education, to be PhD, to the lecturer and a highly rated lecturer in, around the world. They can invite us in, can carry a year and so on. A few years ago, one old woman in America said to me, some of us were in her living room, and she said, Professor, I have been reading about you. I find you are one of the most traveled academics in the world. How come? I see that there are very few countries you have never been to. I said, yeah, I go to those countries because I am invited to come and tell the world what I know about the subject, especially the subject of African history. I reached the peak at a time when the knowledge of how to teach the history of non-literate African peoples was becoming a science. And I was one of the people grilled in that science. So I know a lot about it. I have used it to write a history of my people. I have used it to write another book now that is even bigger than my history of the Yoruba people. Yeah, using the same methodology. So I go around the world explaining it to people. There was a time, there was some 4 or 5 years, during which people, hardly anybody would call him a conference or a symposium on African history anywhere in the world without asking me to come and present a paper there. Hong Kong, Singapore, Argentina, Brazil, name it, South Korea.
Right.
It is the English language with which I had to communicate in those places. So my use of the English language became quite good.
Predominant.
And I'm better able at explaining things, because even in those conferences, I had to explain difficult things.
Yes.
History, as the European conceived of it, is related only to countries, peoples that have writing in their history. People know who write. And they said, if you have no writing, you have no history. But our elders like Professor Ade Ajayi and some professors abroad, and especially in Britain, in the School of African and Oriental Studies in London, in Harvard, and so on, said no. The fact that you have no writing is not proof that you have no history. Every society has a history. But the big question is, how do we write the history of people who don't have writing? How do we reconstruct it? It's a major science in itself. I'm one of those people grilled through that science.
Well,
and it has proved very useful in my writing of Yoruba history.
Thank you, sir.
So that's the reason about language. Why is Baba speaking English and not Yoruba all the time? I can speak Yoruba, but I can't speak it as fluently as I speak English. Let me be honest. That politics. Dialect minimum. I can stand in front of Ekiti people for an hour, 2 hours, and just rattle on in the Ekiti dialect. Yeah, okay. I still can do so today. But that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm called upon to do.
I also want to use this every minute that I have. I want to leave the line open. If anybody has a question, I want to, like I said, it's a kind of interactive. Please ask questions that's very relevant to this movement. Something that is very, very relevant to this movement. Anything private or whatever is not necessary here. Nobody wants to hear that. And I always say, Jesus at Madeline, I'm not very good in religion, Baba. So please ask questions. To relate more Yoruba people. Before I will get a first caller or whatever, Baba, it's also this big distraction as we speak. This big distraction is where we still have like a kind of a hole. Might not be a big hole anymore, but we still have a situation where some people are still believing in that kind of cuckoo land. If they anti-share declaration, and I'm being straight and honest with you, sir. I don't believe declaration, anti-proclamation, anti-occupation, anti-share, and as we speak now, occupying. What do you say to some of these? What do you say to them, sir? Baba, please. This program, please.
In a long struggle like we are engaged in a long struggle filled with streams of hope and expectation. There will be comic performances.
Comedy.
There will be some, yeah, natural. There will be comic performances. There will be people who say, "Oh, we have done, we have recovered our country," and so on. It's funny, but unfortunately, it is pathetic, you know. And a lot of very intelligent men and women allow themselves to be dragged into it. It will fizzle out. It is fizzling out. But a man like me, with my background, I cannot say, "Oh, I reject." No, I just say, let's watch. It will fizzle out, and it is fizzling out. But I advise our people, I beg our people, more or less, don't let anybody drag you into ridiculous actions. Don't let anybody drag you into ridiculous actions. There is so much to do. You're thinking about the struggle of us, about the problems of our struggle, how to move forward, and so on, are so vital and so powerfully useful that you cannot come and waste your time over inanities, things that will achieve no result in the end. You know, we have work to do.
Yes.
Every Yoruba person has work to do. And if God has given you the ability to think, to write, to plan, and so on, do it in a way that matters, and not over any jokes. So I'm not hostile, not at all. I just watch it with prayer that not too many people will get hurt over nothing in particular. And thank God it is running out, and not many of our people have gotten hurt. Some people are destroying their own image and their future by the way they are handling matters. But I believe that they too will learn and turn out to be more normal human beings by and by. Yeah.
I hope so, and I believe so, because as time goes on, now there's another collective ongoing kind of is a trend. Today you see each other betraying one another, calling each other names, and in the process, there's this poverty has now led us to one area, and I think, Baba, you need to take a stand. You need to take a stand. It used to be when I advise or something like that. The call, many people calling for war. I want it bomb, I want it kill. The truth of the matter, Nikwe, we should not forget that we haven't gotten there yet, and we cannot continue to allow our people to say, look, at the end of the day, we have witnessed Nigeria Nigeria, where one former head of state don't choose like level area because so we cannot continue to ask and keep drumming, calling for ready. Baba, can you tell your people? Can you tell us if we are not really ready to fight? Because at the end of the day, we cannot match the Air Force, we cannot match the military, we cannot match even the police. We haven't got us in. And when you are like to listen, and I'm happy to hear from you. You have accepted that it was a kind of a mistake. You have apologized for that, and I hope with the new restructuring arrangement, people should understand. Who lose? So, Baba,
okay. Ṣé àwọn ọmọdé ò mọ nǹkan méjì ò pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ flex their muscles, flex their vocal cords. That's what young people do in every culture. And on the whole, we Yoruba are a very young nation. in the sense that a larger percentage of our people are on the young side. I think I remember that 3 or 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, somebody came out with the statistics that the 64% of Yoruba people belong to the ages 40 and below. 64% are people of age 40 and below. The rest of us are you 40 low. We are just 36% of the population. So it's a young nation. And therefore, the behavior of the youth are likely to overweigh the behavior of those of us who are old. So our behavior and so on. And sometimes they succeed in doing something. Don't let us discountenance all of it as if it's unimportant. No, quite often. They go into the bush and they drive the Fulani people who are trying to settle down there. They drive them away and so on. Thank God for them. Good or recognize, but that's who we are at this point. The younger people are the larger part of our population, and they're behaving like young people. Thank God for them. I will not stop them. I will encourage them. As a matter of fact, I'm very close to them. I'm closer to them than I am to the older parts of our population. I know that they command the power, and we must supply the wisdom to them. It is they who command the power, and it is our duty to supply the wisdom to them.
Yes.
Yes, our young people are saying, one day shall make bonrara, but one passion, one zeal. And sometimes they succeed, sometimes they get hurt, but you can't stop them. That's what young people are.
Ben, sir, Papa, it's also all over the world is known that there are two entities, like anywhere in the whole universe. The first entity is everything is legal. Anything. The second one is the area of political. Papa, this question has always been coming up from different quarters, from different people, saying, okay, let's put it hypothetically. Let's put it hypothetically. Just hypothetically, yeah, that we now have a new government or whatever, blah, blah, blah in Nigeria, because we still somehow, directly or indirectly, part of Nigeria. If hypothetically a new government is settled down, look, let me speak to the so-called agitators. I say as a campaigner, I never subscribe to agitation or whatever. Yeah, but it means the same thing. So if for example, the new government or the new government in Nigeria call you, sir, call Yoruba and say, listen, hang on a minute, let's have a talk, let's have a dialogue, let us talk. What exactly do you want? Number one, the first question is, will you answer to that call? And what are going to be probable demands, Samanisa?
Yeah, the letter we wrote to the president of Nigeria that I drafted and we all adopted, and that we sent to the president of Nigeria, states specifically at the end that we have been pursuing our struggle in a peaceful and law-abiding manner. We even have a manual, a 34-page manual written on this subject of peaceful and law-abiding approach. And no other people in the world have ever done that. So we are serious. And you have copies of that document, of that manual.
I do have a copy, yes.
So we now demand that you set in motion the process whereby negotiators of the Nigerian government and negotiators from the Yoruba people will sit face to face and iron out exactly what is on the ground. And from our side, what is on the ground is that we want our country. And we want it not out of malice to anybody. We do not hate any nation, but we want our country, nevertheless. So you are the elected leader of all. You are our elected leader. So provide for us a means of negotiation with the rulers of, with the representatives of Nigeria, so we can go out peacefully. So if the government, if any government of Nigeria was to write today, we want to hold a meeting on the way forward for Nigeria, I would say, Yoruba people, let's hurry there. And let us put on the table clearly. Nigeria, no go area, and
our demand is
we
clear.
have made our views known. We have the mandate of most Yoruba people to say we want our country. So there is no waffling around. Legislator, constitution. Those things don't concern us anymore. We are not part of Nigeria, seriously, emotionally. We are no longer part of Nigeria. So then you can Nigeria to move forward. Trade the flow between states. Peacefully, friendly, enemies as neighbors on all sides. Friendly neighbors, people we can relate to, people we can help if they need help. That's what we want.
Yes.
And so government you can tell you can buy one election to president to in Nigeria gather together. We're too smart gun. We can make clear. Make sure. But yes, there is a sentence at the bottom of something that I wrote, I can't remember what it is now, that the Yoruba people have long past helping to build Nigeria. They now want to build their own country.
It's not going to work, I know.
Because Nigeria is not, because I only build in Nigeria. We used to think that our father and us, our father and us, we could build Nigeria. We can make Nigeria the black man's. Nobody can do it. Nobody can do it. Nigeria is not amenable to development of building
at all.
So our already like to continue to invest our energies in a project that is not prospering, cannot prosper. But a journey. So we will go there, but we will make our as decently, as diplomatically, as suavely as possible. We will make our point clear. But we are not going to be contributing to how to write a new constitution for Nigeria and so on and so forth. Not at all.
So, but we are not going to say no. We will not say no. We can't. We don't want to talk to you. We are not going to say that. You explain it very clearly to the whole world. This is I'm just put the demands on the table, of course. Which
are ready for negotiation
anytime, Ben. Sir. Now, let me take you to another level. There was a time, sir, Baba, and you see, because it's like the whole thing is becoming like artists. There was a time when people like me, I stand and some other few people who agreed. A large number of people outside this movement, as we speak, once you finish grant, which is fine. 8 promises tàbí 8 states tí ẹ fẹ́ mú tàbí 6 minimum kẹ́tì ẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ náà kó jẹ́ pé the people that are interested in this thing. And I will take you a little bit further. During the time of when we won, when I think the force majeure clearly states it clear. We had the I think March 13th to 16th or so, or 2020, that we finished. We don't want to continue with the Constitution of Nigeria. If we had our own people, look, divorce case, case here, want to decide you calculation tone. But unfortunately, people láwọn èèyàn wa tó à ń bẹ̀ jẹgúdú jẹrá olè aláìdálábòsí kẹ́ni má ní nǹkan kan care for anybody. Àwọn náà wà bẹ́ẹ̀ gbà yẹn, we were unable to do. So this arrangement was when people like me come up with the idea we should have a kind of a plan B. Plan B was, when we need to, that was when the idea of Tabani plan B, because even as we speak, a ṣì ń láti ní wọ́n pè wá, a ṣì ń láti ní arrangement fún plan B to make sure in case tíbi yóò bá gbàbẹ̀ yẹn lọ, ibi ilé gbàbẹ̀ lọ. What do you say to that, sir?
Obalala, what work in a order for to that? I will not return from them. Baba.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sounds very good. I just will tell you a story. Yes, when sir. I came back in 2015, January 2016, some of my closest friends who are leaders of the APC invited me, and we spent a beautiful night together, had good dinner and so on. And the closest person to me among them then said, Baba, listen to Africa page Africa wa join the APC wa kedi baba APC from wakati counter to those big men like Chief Adebanjo who are leading up Funny Ferry and against us and so. And we would take good care of you. I answered, I thank you. I have no doubt that you will take good care of me. But taking care of me is not the important thing now, working for the Yoruba nation. I have taken an oath never again to participate in partisan politics. So if you're liking you, join me. 2006, I founded an organization in America, and we took oaths that we would never again take part in partisan politics, every one of us. And I'm the leader. I was the founder of the group. So I cannot now come home and say I have my friends, they will take good care of me, so I'm going to do partisan politics. I cannot. The only kind of politics I can play from this point on, since 2006 actually, is the politics that lifts the Yoruba nation up.
Benny.
Not the Prophet dividing and abusing one another, so I can't do it. That is it. I want to propose option B. Question just out of interest. The election bambo, governor state, whatever may be your reason for choosing him is immaterial. But you choose somebody and you spend a lot of public money to get him nominated. Then when he gets nominated, you spend more of public money to get him elected. And so he's sworn in and becomes governor. After that, how do you ever, is it possible for you, or is there any way you ever get him to do what your party wants? Ọ̀nà tí party yín fẹ́ kí lẹ ṣe lè ṣe kó rìn. Wọ́n wojú ara wọn ní bàbá kò sí. You see. Ẹni tó bá sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ ṣe kí ní ká kó party jọ Kakoko win. The governor in Nigeria answer. How are you sure that when they become governors, they will do what you want?
That's true. Utoni yes, sir.
Kajora, later moyi ejeka ma she a produce a result. Later o monye ashora. Where Nigeria has produced a kind of mind that is virulently self-centered. And you put a young man, you go and labor, you put a young man and he becomes governor. How are you sure he would do what you want to do? What we want is to liberate ourselves and be a free country in the world. How are you sure that he will use his position as governor to contribute to that, rather than use his position as governor to make money?
Benny, that is part of also what I'm getting from the public is an issue of in case of emergency exit. Can it, if by next week, if by again, these are also hypothetical. If just also this is hypothetical, but it can be real. Again, the first one is so I want to more. Continue me, eating me more lepo. Let him get but see about the dipelola, about the new ola. But on okay, after my law. Baba, the larger question for somebody like me, or have we done our enough homework? Have we prepared? Are we really prepared? Because I'll be honest with you, Baba, let's just find every survivor of life. Majority of our people, the large number of people, highly educated, highly placed, highly informed, highly matured, they are still not interested in this. Okay, opportunity ni fún láti gbé báàgì wa bóyá mi ó yẹ já máa lọ torí gbogbo ẹ̀ ti fọ́ kóníkà gbogbo ẹ̀ sì ṣàkíní. Are we really prepared with the proper to put quickly as possible? Ó dàbí ẹni tó lálejò tí ò lóúnjẹ létò ní ẹ fún mi níbi 10-15 minutes ó dẹ̀ pàápàá ó pa nǹkan yóò papọ̀ ọbẹ̀ délẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ ro mọ́ ó dẹ̀ ro ìbá sóyè nǹkan kan. Baba, are we genuinely prepared? Are we really going to have a kind of government in place within a short period of time?
A country that is absolutely ready to go from day one does not exist in human history.
Okay.
It doesn't happen. What has happened in our case, what is happening in our case, is that increasing numbers of putting their thoughts and so on together. I said it before, that I am receiving endless tones of
turn upside down. The camera is turning you upside down, sir. Turn around. Hello, Baba, can you hear me, sir? Well, again, like another thing, this has always been a kind of recurring decimal where you have to deal with people in Africa. It does happen maybe one in every 100 times. But when you have this situation where electricity power is not stable, everything is just making, shift. Nothing is really stable. So we have to give Baba my guest tonight on one-on-one with Otumba Who latest. Otumba Who. Let's give him more time to please. If you have questions, ask your questions. I'm seeing a couple of questions here while we are waiting. Baba Otumba, what is your kind of plan B. I have explained it. My plan B is to have something in case. Plan B, in fact, as we speak now, we have also seen it. If there's a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, Papa. Because you don't go to war, you don't start a project, you don't start a business without putting a plan as a backup. So the idea of plan B that I started with another eminent person in this struggle, in this campaign, that was misunderstood, and people are still misunderstanding it, and I don't get it. I don't get it why people will say you don't, you cannot. There must always be another alternative to anything you are doing. In fact, wàhálà àwọn obìnrin kan máa ń lọ sí pàtí kankan, àwọn míì á kó bàtà míì dání, á kó bàtà gogoro yẹn, á lè kó síbẹ̀ á kàn máa fi jó àlẹ̀ tí tán, á tún kó padà. So that's exactly what somebody like me and many others are saying. That there should be another plan to back up all what we are trying to achieve. And I'm very happy, while I'm still waiting for Papa to come back, that issue of if hypothetically we are asked to come and talk, some people don't even want to hear it. Why will anybody think like that? Come back, the Nigerian government must say, look, the Igbo is separately, the Yoruba, the Jaws, the different nations in the country like Nigeria. We want to talk with them. Oh yes, the people should answer. People should go. Of course, we know what we want, and when we get there, we should try and put the card on the table. We should ask them that. I mean, we cannot afford to be shy to tell them exactly that we want 100% leaving the union. That will be the only thing we want to discuss, but not going to kind of a meeting like that. It's not an option. It cannot be an option. It has to be something we need to sit down and talk. And the benefits, maybe probably some people that are listening, they can understand. The benefit is to reduce the probability, the probable causes of bloodshed, unnecessary war. Many people do not understand that. There are a lot of things that we have that we can use to fight, but that cannot match ordinary one squadron or one kineton of military or air force or whatever. We can't afford to just say, at ready, I'm shaking. No, it just doesn't go that way. And I'm also very happy to say that Papa agreed, he apologized. Those who do not join us at the beginning can go back and say that Baba apologized that there was a time that Baba has all the right to have said what they need to say. You know, it was not really 100% correct to have just joined the chorus and say amagba. You know, I could have said, you know, as somebody who knows what it is. You know, the issue should have been there's a process and a procedure. So we weren't doing that. Allow me to call them to know what is going on. And then while we are there, please send in your messages or your comments, or if you want to call in while I'm still waiting for Baba to come back, because definitely he's going to come back. Calls, just a minute, let me quickly call just to find out what is going on. I hope everything is okay. I think there might be problem of not only network, maybe problem of data, whatever it is. They are making efforts to Baba so he can come back, and I can imagine they are making efforts to rejoin this meeting. This interactive session with Baba is very, very important to me, and it's key because we cannot continue to do the same thing all the time. Otherwise, ẹnìkan ló sì wa mọ́tò tí táyà kan ló kàn flat ló wà tí táyà kan bẹ́. Ẹ tún rí nǹkan ẹlòmíà kan tí ẹ̀ mind from nowhere ni. And that's why I'm also still have to talk about to Papa, with Papa, in terms of our new advisors. See, Papa, they need to show us. They need to show the world. If I'm one of anybody, Baba need to show the whole world. I want new advisors. Because we need to know them. Nobody can just be an advisor. We are very good at different kind of abusi, these kind of things. So Baba need to come clean this time around. I will continue to play my role as a media person, not necessarily as advisor or anything. But I need to come out and let people in support of our people. We need to know who and who are coming to dinner. We need to know who and who are. I have another question here. Papa Otunba, you mean your plan B is getting involved in politics, sir? Well, I don't know what that understand. Generally, I don't know what that means. Again, like I said, there are two entities in the whole world. What we are doing is political. Go and check from your professor, from anybody. What we are doing in the first place is more of political than another thing. If you want to even start war, you need to start from political. A lot of people do not know why Russia decided overnight to go and attack Ukraine. Russia had done a lot of politicking. They have already spoken and said, look, don't do this. If you do this, we will have no any other option but to react. So 99% of what we are doing in the process of wanting to get our state is more of a political thing. It's a political process. So it's a political process. Even invoke they are being political indirectly. They might be more of naive. They might not know how best to put it. But it's all political. And even if somebody says, it's a declaration, it's just part of politics. It's nothing. That is not social. That's not music. That's not cultural. That's nothing. It's politics and law and legal. So we need to know that. And also, I also find out that majority of our people, for some reason, they know best. But you know best, and then they don't know. Other thing they know how to do. It's also an issue, and I'm sure Papa has also addressed that. But I'm going to re-ask the question. I'm going to ask that question again. I also still planning that when Baba comes back, hopefully when he comes back, that we're going to talk about a media, that some of the media we have to contend with. They're just bad media. They're just not like behaving like they're not really trained. They don't know what media is all about. Everybody, once they are able to buy a mobile phone, it's done. And there's only to register with YouTube at Facebook. In fact, the idea, the ultimate goal of wanting to disseminate information to our people, is nothing important. It has to be share, this. And also we have a couple of people that are just critics. They just want to criticizing in such a way, but they are making worse. They are making worse contribution to the whole thing. At the end of the day, all these are little things that doesn't make this business of going on become very attractive. Many people are put off. Okay? A lot of people are just here. Okay, why are you still doing that? Why are you teaming up with our They don't know what they are saying. They're saying it because of personal. I have a large number of collection of people. Àwọn èèyàn kan ní pé torí kò ti wà ní dìkínì lè bá politicians sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. Who does that? Lè bá àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀, lè bá family. Èèyàn mélòó nu wa ní family ẹ̀? Bí bàbá dé again, I will repeat it. Èèyàn mélòó ní ọmọ ẹ̀, ìyàwó ẹ̀? I know large number of people tó pé ẹlòmíì ò tiẹ̀ gbójú síta torí ọkọ ò gbọdọ̀ gbọ́ nǹkan tó jọ. I know many people that their husband will say, tó bẹ́ẹ̀ má tiẹ̀ try inú lé torí ìtẹ̀mí ṣe rèé. So we know that. So for one or two people to come out, láti máa attack àwọn kan tí wọ́n rò pé you need to be moderate, you need to bring people together. I don't think it makes sense for people behaving that way. So for me, it's not like some people are behaving very badly. Well, again, like I said, I'm trying to read some of your questions. we need to do background check for Baba's advisors. Yeah, leadership is very important at this. Fantastic. I agree with that, and I very fún yẹn, inú mi dùn. Yes, I need láti ṣe because like I said, inú èsìsì ò kì í jóyàn lẹ́ẹ̀mejì. We cannot afford to have àwọn fake advisors because the way things are going, we already having a rough idea of àwọn tán fẹ́ fi èrú gbàbò kún. They just want to be advised, they just want to be known. Nípa àwọn lára àwọn tí àwọn advisor. No. I've been there. I know exactly what it takes. So I agree with that, sir. That's a very good observation, and I will be asking Baba to improve it. I know for some reason, similar situation, we were unable to get connected, so we then end up having to postpone it till today. If Baba did not come back for some reasons, maybe for connection problem, I will bring Baba back again. There's a long list of questions I want to share. I want to ask people to contribute. But like I said, if those of you who are here, help me share, so some other people can come to join while Baba, we are still waiting for you. And also, you can call in. You can call in to ask questions. And the number to call is +44 7368 7368 465 054. Please call in to contribute so we can have more interactive. We can interact with each other, and we can also talk about election. We can also talk about politics, the politics of today, tomorrow. When we even get to our own destination where we are going, we're still going to be talking about politics. There's no way anybody wants to do business without politics. It's not possible. It has to be either politics or legal thing. So Ade and Okonloba should go and tell their father those questions. I don't understand that. Ade and Okonloba should go and tell their father those questions. This sounds to me as I'm sorry, these are kind of questions I don't welcome on my show. I don't do fracas, even though I've been accused of getting involved in fracas, but that's fine. That could happen. But these are questions that I think is not what has your father and forefathers do at their current age. Yes, that might be something I subscribe to. I read political science and law, and I keep asking. It's just like somebody saying, "Atini kini 300 years ago, Atini 900, Atini nkoko." We don't have it now. Is that difficult for anybody to understand? We don't have any government as we speak, not of Yoruba government. The only close to Yoruba something is just the area where we find ourselves geographically structured. Gbèdé pé kẹ́nìkan máa lò yẹn, a ti ṣèjọba rí, a ti níjọba yẹn gbà kan. All that kind of, for me, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. It does not really add up. So we cannot continue to be using that as a reference point. So because large number of our people, they don't understand. Let me try Baba again. I can imagine it's either there's a power failure because it's just ringing, nobody's speaking, and we've agreed to carry on with this show. And I have no doubt in my mind that Papa is willing to to continue with the show. It's just ringing, I think. Hello, Obalola Baba, can you come back, please? I thought as much. Okay. Okay, so then you know Abi. Okay, all right. I want you to do Papa. Okay, all right. Hello? No, I to any question plan B area Benlawa. But I have the question. I will continue to ask Baba questions anyway. But we just need to go through it. Online. All right. Yes, please, people who are watching this program, help share, help love, like, and subscribe. Again, this is one of the very few non-monetization talk show. I don't monetize it. I put high premium on the quality of information I discuss with my guests, and I do appreciate that the viewers might not be many, but I also understand that those who are craving to have a large number of viewers, the benefit could be either because of money. That's fine. I have no reason to struggle to do that with anybody. Instead, I pray for them to have more and more followers or viewers, so at least um, whoever is sending them checks, that should get more checks. I'm done with all that kind of struggle. I don't need to slog anything with anybody. I'm very grateful to the Almighty, and at least long back. So coming back to again, Baba will soon be here because Baba has just said it was the I think Baba is back. Baba Timbo. Bí Baba là ń rí yìí o. Alàgbà ọba lọ́la.
Yes, sir. Wọ́n máa join yín sí, sir.
Ẹ ṣe ẹ kú iṣẹ́.
No, wọ́n lè fẹ́ béèrè question. Àwọn aráàlú, àwọn tó fẹ́ béèrè, ká máa fẹ́ béèrè ní question lọ́wọ́ yín. Wọ́n lè fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ pa. Wọ́n fẹ́ béèrè nípa àwọn
kí ni ẹ tí ì tí o ọba lọ́la bá mi. Ok jẹ́ kó àbẹ́yẹn tó wọn sí ká lè wọn direct torí ó ń dẹ̀gbẹ́.
Ṣé ó ti wà ókè báyìí?
Àti ó dà ó wà ókè bẹ́yẹn fantastic look great. Bàbá secret 88 yìí sà bóyá tá a bá ṣe program tán máa pè yín. I want to be like you. They've never did 88, sir. You are looking like my age, sir. You are doing very well with 88. Ṣé ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ mi, sir? Ṣé ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ mi, bàbá ṣe ti ń gbọ́ mi sí, sir?
Mi ò gbọ́.
Wà á gbọ́ yín.
Wo kíní ó ṣòkò wà ọ́ ojú ẹ̀.
Ṣé ti ń gbọ́ sí, sir?
Ó skip.
Ọ̀dọ̀ yín nìyẹn máa jẹ́ kì í ṣe bí yín nìyẹn.
Ok.
Ṣé ti ń gbọ́ sí, sir? Bàbá ṣé ti ń gbọ́ tẹ́ bá ti ń gbẹ̀ náà sókè. Ṣé ti ń gbọ́? Ṣé
ọgbọ́n tó ń sọ.
Ó skip ni.
Ọ̀dọ̀ yín nìyẹn ti ń wá, it's not from here. Ṣé ẹ ń gbọ́ mi sìn?
À ń gbọ́ yín.
Bàbá ò gbọ́.
Ẹ bá sọ̀rọ̀ lọ.
Ok bàbá ṣe ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sórí ètò yìí. Àwọn èèyàn ti béèrè question oríṣiríṣi. One of them ni wípé ẹnìkan sì ń repeat ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ọ̀nà Yorùbá. Wọ́n sọ pé bàbá ti ṣàlàyé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá fún wa. I understand. Ṣé ẹ ń gbọ́dọ̀ mi sà?
Ó skip.
Ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ more slowly bóyá because it's been skipping around.
Okay. Àwọn èèyàn ń béèrè question oríṣiríṣi and one person sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá yẹn ṣe bóyá ìyẹn ló ń jẹ wọ́n lógún. Mo ní a máa ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá pé ẹ ṣe sọ pé àwọn sì fẹ́ kẹ́ sọ òyìnbó àmì sọ́ọ̀rì kẹ́ sọ Yorùbá. Mo ní ẹ ti ṣàlàyé fún wa rísì tẹ́ fi ń sọ òyìnbó. Ṣé ẹ ń gbọ́ sà? Mr. PA ṣé ẹ ń gbọ́rọ̀ wa ṣé ẹ bá mi ṣàlàyé fún wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ń gbọ́.
Ọba ẹ̀ ó dọ̀.
Ok.
Abamiyo.
Mọ̀ nǹkan kan ṣe rí èmi ò ń ṣe fracas bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn kan ń kọ ẹ̀kọ́ kíkọ síbi èmi ò ń ṣe mi ń ṣe bàbá o mi ń ṣe bàbá wa bàbá ti mi ń ṣe bàbá rárá tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá bu ìmọ̀ àbú yàrá ìyá yín tó tẹ́nìkan bá kọ nǹkan kan sí tó bá bú bàbá bí èmi á bú kànrí yín ẹ̀yin olódo wọ̀nyí tẹ́nìkan bá bú bàbá tí ó wà ní tèmi yín ìbáyìí síbí màá bú yàrá ìyá yín ìpọ̀nrí yín níbo ni àwọn bàbá yín wà níbo làwọn ìpọ̀nrí yín wà àwọn olódo àwọn táwọn lè kọrúkọ ara wọn níbo náà wà nígbà tí bàbá yìí jáde síta ẹ̀yin ọ̀dẹ̀ wọ̀nyí ẹ̀yin ọ̀dẹ̀ tí ajá dúró tán pè lọ́bọ̀ fún yín ẹni bá bú mi lórí program á bú padà kò sí ìtọ́kàn mi èmi lèmi ní program mi dẹ̀ ń ṣẹgbẹ́ yín tẹ́ bá lè jù mí lọ ẹ̀ fi hàn ẹni tó bá bú bàbá tẹ
ẹ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ question yín.
àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ kan ní sà àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ àwọn ọpọn mi àwọn tó yẹ pé tí wọ́n bá jẹ́ ọ̀dẹ̀ kí ẹnìkan sọ fún wọn pé.
jẹ́ ká máa face struggle wa that's what is important.
ẹ ṣe sà mo dúpẹ́ lọ́yìn bàbá there's another common question táwọn èèyàn ń béèrè pé now mo ti béèrè yẹn lọ́wọ́ yín pé tí ó bá di emergency pé ok ìjáde oníkàkún láti mú báàgì ẹ̀ àwa Yorùbá we are prominent in Nigeria. Okay. Ti rí Elizabeth ẹ láti disconnect one of the devices ó dàbà sí wọn máa echo. Hello bàbá jẹ́ tí ń gbọ́ sí sà ṣó bẹ́tà sí sà ṣó bẹ́tà sà.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó bẹ́tà.
ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò bàbá èmi ò tí ì pé 88 bíi tí ìpè 88 mi ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí ẹnìkan kọ́kàn rẹ̀ máa rò pé àwọn tí bàbá wọn ò jẹ́ nǹkan kankan máa bú bàbá tèmi mi ò ní gbà fún anybody. Bàbá ẹ jẹ́ kí n handle bẹ́ẹ̀ sà bàbá èmi náà sì young ṣé wọn kọ́ sọ pé àwọn young people yẹn ọmọ like ìjọ̀gbọ̀n èmi kọ́ sì young sí I want to be like you tèmi náà kọ́ bá pé 88 now the other thing ti fẹ́ bèèrè lọ́yìn sà why you are still here in case of emergency tí emergency bá dé àwọn wo ni arrangement wo la ti ṣe sílẹ̀ wípé a lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọba tiwa immediately àwọn arrangement wo la ti ní ẹ bá mi sọ fáwọn èèyàn sà.
mi ò gẹ́ẹ̀tì question yẹn dáadáa.
tó bá di ní ọ̀la tá bá ní pé is emergency oníkàkó gbá ẹ̀rí àbí àwọn ṣe máa sọ oníkàkó jórúkọ bàbẹ́ Yorùbá àwa ti dá dúró àti wà á ti ń continue campaign yìí àwọn kan ti wà ń díẹ̀ 29 years ago àwọn kan ti wà ń bẹ̀ ẹ̀yin náà ti wà ń bẹ̀ títí tó jẹ́ mẹ́ta but you have been leading this movement for the last how many years now. Do we have in place the kind of government to continue to make sure we are not going to be in disarray and it that be a place like South Sudan?
No, that's the question.
Okay, Baba. Ṣé a ti ní in place a government we can be proud of wípé a ti ní government in exile, a ti ní àwọn necessary infrastructure in place? Do we have all these things or not?
Yeah, we have as much as is possible in the circumstance. We have what we can regard as a transitional government. We are not forming a government in exile. A government in exile means that only people abroad will be running the government. No, the Yoruba people don't want that. What we have is people who have been approached and told and are gradually being being briefed about their role when the transitional time comes. That's all.
Fantastic. So at least we can be sure if anything at any time we're asked to go, we're already in good shape. We have the necessary.
Yeah, the Yoruba nation is a very orderly kind of nation. You know, we tend to look at our I had to give a purely academic talk, and people were asking me this whole Kamabu leader wa Kama Soku Sompa Kama she, is it part of our culture? And I said, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, it is. It used to be that in every town there was there were one or two annual ceremonies at which the people were free to go out in the streets and abuse and satirize their leaders, their rulers, and so on. Call the Oba any kind of name and so on. And that's part of Yoruba democracy.
Then, sir, I agree.
So we must remember that. So when some young man comes out and is abusing Baba and saying Baba is this and so on, I have to remember he's part of a culture that used to do that to its rulers. That's it. We used to satirize our rulers. When I was young, once, I was coming from school and I had a crowd singing, calling my uncle, calling him a thief and so on. I was angry. And I ran back home to complain to my mother that those people out there are calling my uncle, Baba, Ole. My mother laughed. My mother said, that's their right. That's it. I don't. Yeah. So it's like once, when Bakobio, who was the Oba of Ibadan, a group of young men gathered themselves together and kept and sang in a large crowd in front of his house. Kobio said to the press in the morning, there was nothing he could do about it. That's it. That's our culture. There's no on that satirizing and reducing your leaders to abuse and insult and so on. Well, it's a part of the Yoruba democratic principle that power in society does belong to the people. And they're free to treat their leaders the way they will respect their leaders. Yoruba people know how to adulate their leaders. But occasionally they will go out and reduce the Yoruba to jokes. That's our culture. Whether you are a chief or a noble or something, you must be ready to go through that in our society. Yeah, me also especially me like pé àwọn tó bá fẹ́ sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ bá yín jà agbára wa sílẹ̀ lẹ wá ń bú and tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ bú wọn díẹ̀ náà ó tó. But there are groups like I don't want to mention it, who make a profession, a money-making thing, to be rude and nasty towards people who are trying to help the Yoruba nation to liberate themselves. I don't think that is acceptable because a money-making thing is not part of the Yoruba democracy. It's money-making. Yeah, so that we need to take care of. How do we want to take care of it? We don't have the power. So the day will come when we will have our national government and they will make laws to control such behavior. That's all. That's all. We can only live on that hope. Thank you.
There's a question here. Only the community to tilt. Baba Baba ni lati joke upright. Any láti turn round again. Ṣé ń gbọ́rọ̀ mi sà? Ẹ rí báyìí. Bàbá, ṣé ń gbọ́rọ̀ mi? African thing yìí náà wà o. Ẹ̀hún táwọn kan bá jó kọ́ máa mú ọpọlọ wá bẹ̀ tìgbà tẹ́ ẹ pé and I'm sorry I need to go hard with some people because ẹ bá rí nǹkan táwọn ẹlòmíì nǹkan sí you just ask them pé ìjọ ọlọ́pọlọ rárá tọ̀. Èmi ò sínú kíní mi ò gbà nǹkan lẹ́ni or anybody so ẹ bá bú anybody àbúyín padà. Àwọn tí wọ́n lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tán lè kọ́rúkọ ẹlòmíì ò lè spẹ́lì orúkọ rẹ̀ á dẹ̀ máa ṣe bí kántagánta. Ẹlòmíì dání kan pé kákọ́sì wá ní kánkọ́sì ẹlòmíì ò mọ kò mọ ohun tí kò mọ tá à ń sọ. The only thing tán mọ̀ ní pọ́kàn lè tan mobile phone. Baba, the line is bad. This was exactly what happened yesterday. But Baba is coming back. Baba is coming back. I mean, of course, I'm not going to. It's more mature. There's a 12 years difference. But again, does not know that I whether to answer or not to answer. Some people are saying someone like me is. I never do a fracas. I don't. I don't fracas. That's their problem. I don't care who. I don't do it. But I will not sit down on my own show tí mi monetize mi gbà kankan kẹ́nìkan máa bú gẹ̀ẹ́sì mi kó máa sọ̀rọ̀ sí bàbá oníbàbá tí mo gbà no láyé ń bí I will answer mi ṣe fájú fún tó bá sọ nonsense tí ò ní intelligent tí wọ́n lè dá rorí and it's very sad pé àwọn èèyàn kan ṣe wọ́n lè dá rorí it's very sad ara nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ kí Nigerian government tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n mú gbogbo wa ní ìgbọ́n láti àtijọ́ ọjọ́ yìí nìyẹn because every time àwọn ìjọba kan ṣe nǹkan tó wù wọ́n ni Tabalẹ̀ tó fẹ́ pè wọlé, please call. Baba will come back again. We are here to finish. I think the line is bad. Ní ibi tí wọ́n wà. So we have a great man. Banji Akintoye of course, he's not an angel. He's not an angel. Oníkàlùkù ló ní plus minus here. Kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tí ò lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. To have a leader, I know of many other people who are great people. Tó jẹ́ àwọn àgbààgbà nínú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. But for some reasons, ó dà pé ẹ̀ struggle pẹ̀lú current ibi tí àbí pẹ̀lú power àbí Ọbalọ́lá.
Ẹ máa manage ẹ náà ni.
I understand. But ó máa ń skip. Ìtò máa ń tẹ̀sẹ̀ gbẹ́ ni ló ti ẹ̀tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wọ́ọ̀rì mi. Bàbá ẹ káàbọ̀ sà.
Ẹ ṣe.
Tabari. No problem, sir. Tabari Lewagba in couple of years to come. Mudeti somebody.
A couple of years to come, a couple of months to come, a couple of weeks to come.
I mean. Baba, but at the same time, you said it very well. You should have said to àwọn èèyàn because should there be any election tomorrow? Pẹ̀lú àwọn distractors anyone here, they cannot beat you in the polls. They cannot beat you in the polls. I'm not patronizing you because you have worked for it. You work for leadership of this movement. And kọ́kọ́ dẹ̀ lè dé lọ́la àwọn kan tẹ̀ bí mi pé by the way táwọn Yorùbá kan bá dé lọ gírígírí láàárọ̀ la tí wọ́n fẹ́ take leadership nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ní bring them on. People like us will campaign. Iṣẹ́ tá a mọ̀ nìyẹn mo ní bring them on to come and campaign and unseat this old man who has been fighting for the just cause of Yoruba people. Àwọn tó kù wọ́n gbórí wọlé wọn jáde náà. I know some people have their reasons. Now, another thing tí àwọn èèyàn ń béèrè bí ni pé nígbà tí lady kan tó ti declare ṣé ilé tún declare bí declaration tó ti ṣe yẹn is final. Even I have the answer but ṣé gbọ́n tí mo sọ sà? Gbọ́dọ̀ mi.
You go at all. What is it about? Just give me some.
It's about a formal declaration that's taking place. When we get to that point where we need to officially declare, can we still declare? A declaration
all the antiques and so on of our people. Sorry about the serious business itself. Moving forward, what kind of country are we going to have? And I was describing it to you. Yeah, that's it. That's positive. èèyàn kan declare declaration lánàá anybody ló lè sọ pé òun declare kọ́ òun ṣe kìíní kan but ẹ má ṣe nǹkan tó máa kó yín sí trouble with the law. That's all I will say. Ẹ má wọ́n ní tara ilé ẹni bá ń jẹ kòkòrò burúkú èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ wọ́n ẹ̀ gbàtọ́ ẹ bá lọ kóra yín sí kìíní tán bá ń kó yín káàkiri èmi náà lẹ́tún èmi máa tún máa sáré. I can't leave Yoruba people in prison nígbà ní mò ń gbàgbọ́ ara mi. So it cannot happen.
That's the next question. That's the next question, sir. People are asking pé àwọn èèyàn àtọ́n kó lọ sìn tó yẹ pé bóyá because they are so gullible, they are so tó kó wọn lọ tó ti arrest wọn sìn, they are still somehow àti ìgbọ́n ní ìsìnkú ti release wọn. What can you do anything about it, sir? Àwọn tó ń kó tán lọ occupy tán gbé stove tán lè gbé generator lọ síbẹ̀ tán dáná níwájú kìíní. Clearly, if you help one, sir.
You see, we swore to Almighty God from the beginning that we will help the Yoruba people, serve the Yoruba people, get them out of the darkness of Nigeria into the light of democracy and freedom and progress and so on. We swore that, and that is all Yoruba. At the bad, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of them. So tó bá lẹ́ni tó lọ yàyọ̀jù kan téèyàn kan tàn jẹ́ pé kó lọ máa ṣe kìnìún kan tó lọ ṣe tó get into trouble and so on. Well, àwa tá a swear pé a máa help wọn, a gbọ́dọ̀ help wọn náà. So that's the way it is. I am in this to help the totality of the Yoruba nation. I don't leave anybody behind. So if any Yoruba person ignorantly gets himself into trouble, well, okay, sorry. Ọmọ Yorùbá má ti ṣerú eléyìí, but ọmọ Yorùbá má ti ṣerú eléyìí ò mí wípé okay, you can die there. No, I won't do that. Ọmọ Yorùbá má ṣerú eléyìí, okay, jókòó. Kí ni ká ṣe wá gbẹ̀tẹ̀ jáde báyìí? How do we help you now? That's the next question. So that is it. That is it.
So in another word, we will continue. We will continue to help where we can help. In terms of Abi.
Yes, that's the duty of leadership.
Yes. Right, Baba. Yeah. Very important part of my question to you, sir. The issue of our advisors. I've been there. I know exactly what it is, what the advisor does, and all that kind of thing. But the larger question here. People want to know. Large number of people are saying, "Ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wọ́n o, bàbá. Ẹ jẹ́ àwọn minister, bóyá temporary cleaning. Ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ àwọn advisors. Káwọn èèyàn lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ sọ pé, àwọn ọ̀túnba oní plan B ni o, ọ̀túnba oní kinní kan ní nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn èèyàn sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká rí, ẹ jẹ́ announce àwọn advisors yín, kán lè vet, kí public kán lè vet wọn. Ká má tún go through pẹ̀lú ẹni tó wá tó lóun fẹ́ kinní kan tán gbé fún lọ́wọ́ tó lẹ́yìn pé ó kàn fẹ́ sọ di tiẹ̀ ni. Ṣé ìgbàlẹ́mà fún wa ní idea àwọn advisors?
Kò yé mi, I don't understand.
Àwọn tẹ́ fẹ́ fi ṣe advisors ṣe mọ̀ pé we have agreed when you started pé àwọn, because I have always said it to you, sir, direct one-on-one pé bàbá ẹ lè máa ṣiṣẹ́ èèyàn mẹ́jọ kò possible. Èjì yóò tiẹ̀ lè gbá ibi tẹ́ bá tiẹ̀ yàn kankan àwọn other region àwọn about 8 regions land claim. They need to be additional leader from each of the states. Someone supporting any connection with Boshe. I can imagine how much it is and how easy it is. Lati take our decision, but many people will not worry.
Are you talking about the present condition of the states in Yoruba land?
Ben, our advisors, our new advisors, can we meet them?
Yeah, today is a land of barbarism. I don't. As much as possible. A lot of young people are running away. They may not be able to verbalize their reason for running away. They are running away from darkness. So I don't have anything to say about that darkness.
Get the question, sir. Advisors, sir. Any of our advisors in sing.
Advising me now.
Yes. Who are these people? Àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ mọ̀ wọ́n. Bring them out. Let's see them. Àwọn èèyàn sọ pé let us see them. Let us know them. Come out to ṣe bí last time.
Yes, we will soon begin to publish the names of our officials.
Okay.
I want to be advisor. I want to work directly with me as my project director. I want to work with me as I want to share other things. We will put them out there for everybody to see.
Yes.
Okay?
So
oh, sure. I share this stage.
Okay. I will vet one. And then you
Yeah.
listen to, yes, I'll vet one.
People have a right to know. Our people have a right to know. No question.
Now, another thing, talking about very important, struggle is, as we, some people will call it, is issue of media. Media is key, very important. I'm also in the media. I have to agree that through media, a lot can be done, because even though it's the fourth leg in governance, how will you rate the media so far, so good? How will you rate them? I have some other follow-up questions. Money? No. Media.
Libya in North Africa.
No, media.
Oh, media.
Media, yes.
How do we handle the media problem?
How will you rate it? Are you happy with the way things have been, done?
Of course.
Unnecessary factors, unnecessary
my answer simply, when we started this struggle 3-4 years ago, we were very happy that there were some of our men in the social media business. We were very happy because when we looked at the contemporary world, media people have been very helpful in building revolutions. Yeah, our media will make the revolution in Tunisia possible, that then spreads to all the rest of North Africa. Our media name. And so we look at that and we say, oh, praise the Lord, we have some media men and women. Well, some have been very useful. Some are still being very useful. But some are also abominable. They just, abominable. Because they just take what they are doing as a personal something. It's a personal industry of their own. Buy a telephone, you are able to sit in your room and abuse God himself. That's what they're doing. And it's a pity. It's a pity that they tend then to override the good ones. But thank God for some of the good ones that are standing up and fighting back. The media situation has been an unhappy one for the Yoruba people. Because our media, now we know better. How I wish we didn't encourage so much of media. Maybe we will have less trouble than we have now.
Yeah.
But that's how life is. Sometimes you think it's going to be good. It is a little up the road. But further on the road, you begin to get into the muddy and difficult and even dangerous areas. So our media, that's what our media has been. How I wish, the thing is this. The social media is a modern phenomenon. And all over the world, people are bringing a lot into the world through the media, jokes, entertainment, serious research matter, serious historical matter, etc., etc., etc. In our own case, in our Yoruba case, our people have, many of our people, don't let me say general thing, many of our people have just bought a camera, sit in their house, and just take we can insult everybody, we can abuse anybody, we can And when we are doing that, people will come and interact with our program. We will have bigger traffic, and so we can make money. So it is not, there's no sense of social responsibility, because foreigners will ask you, but Prof, you say you are fighting for your nation. Those are members of your nation abusing you all day long and cursing you and so on. How come? In my country, nobody will do anything like that. In my culture, nobody will do anything like that. As an Italian, I'm an Italian. If I'm fighting for something that is good for the Italians, no Italian will be abusing me the way your people are abusing you, and so on. How do you answer that? How do you answer that? Why do our media people choose to abuse those of us? I say, it's part of our culture, but why do they go? They go beyond the extremes. They go beyond the extremes. I heard that was some young woman about 2 months ago or so was cursing me. I said, what? What have I done to deserve being cursed by anybody? I am just waking up in the morning, working on the Yoruba problem, writing and writing and writing, contacting people in the world, sending people to go and meet them, and so on and so forth. So why should anybody be cursing or cursing anybody working with me? But that's the way it is. And one doesn't really know why. Somebody came to me and said, àwọn Fúlàní ló ń sa oògùn sí wa, wọ́n máa ń lọ háyà àwọn márààbò kan máa ń kó wá in their thousands tó máa rí èèyàn mọ́lẹ̀ rí ewúrẹ́ mọ́lẹ̀ rí àgùntàn mọ́lẹ̀ rí màlúù mọ́lẹ̀ and so on. I don't know what it is. My background is Yoruba, it's not Fulani. So I don't know what it is. But it is a pity that it is so. And my prayer is that people will change. But my hope, my assurance, that when we have our own country, the government will make laws that will regulate the social media as it relates to our people. Thank you.
I see. Drawing board. I want you to tell our viewers, our Yoruba, there's a need to go back to the drawing board, because it is very, very important that we go back to the drawing board to go back to the drawing board to rearrange, reappraise, readdress a certain aspect of this journey. Carry planning, change, carry strategize, can make sure we don't fall down so easily again. What are you doing about drawing board? How much are you putting into that? Check what question, Mr.
I didn't get your question.
Okay. There's a need to go back to the drawing board. There's a need to go back to the drawing board to start.
The point of the media?
No. Generally, in fact, the media will be included in all whatever when we go to the drawing board, when we go back to it looks like we were not at the drawing board before. Admit, we were not at the drawing board. We did not put this something properly. We did not put it properly in such a way. Put it properly, it could have never happened. And I'm happy you agree to say the way things are. So are we now planning to go back to the drawing board? Are we now planning to go back to the drawing board to plan properly, to put everything properly together so we can continue the journey properly?
I've told you that we Yoruba are unique. And the kind of, the level of sophistication and planning that Yoruba people are throwing up is awesome. The more I look at some of these write-ups, the more I am assured that we are going to have a great country indeed, a great, great country. I said before that occasionally I wish I was just 40-something years old. Pray that no accident will happen to me, no serious disease, and I will be around for a few years, a few decades, to see the beauty the kind of society that the Yoruba people are planning in their minds now. Yeah, I pray, I'm sure that I will see the beginning of it. But I want to see more than the beginning, because it's going to be great and beautiful. And the world is going to be astounded, surprised that some people can develop like this. Yeah. It will come. It will come. The obstacle is Nigeria. They won't let us go now, but we will go. We will go, and then we will go and perform the miracles.
I am quite pleased. I'm very, very pleased to hear you say, in case there's a call, there's a need to send a delegation to meet whoever emerges as the president or whatever, because the stop where they cannot stop us to continue our fight to get our nation. Entitlement to our right to one, but unfortunately we have to go through a process and a procedure. That I say to everybody. I'm happy to hear that, because as it is, you see, the large number of people that think in election Tomashilola might affect the journey, and I think some people are now joining. Is it possible to repeat that this election is not going to affect our demand? It's not going to affect the journey in any form or shape. I think we're having challenges with even though most are at the top of my voice, we're having challenges with the
Yeah, I'm not getting your words clearly.
Baba, share lawyer piece. Share any piece.
Huh?
Share any piece. Share lawyer piece.
Make the questions shorter, one or two words, clear.
Okay. The thing is, as we speak, some people are still thinking if the election or la to Mashele is going to affect our journey, and they want to be assured if the election or la will need to contribute with the journey. Check by answer. Okay.
Just make it one or two or three brief words. Is it about election, tomorrow's election?
Tomorrow election, is it going to affect this journey? Is it going to affect us? Is it going to affect?
Tomorrow's election is a weird road about which nobody can make predictions. The weird road. They could still cancel the election tonight before tomorrow morning, or postpone it. Or they could say that some people have taken over a coup. And we know what the coup is. It's not a real Nigerian coup. It's one ethnic group organized their people to take over the government and so on. We can wake up in the morning and fighting all over in very many places so that election cannot go on. The fighting has already started in a few places. It can widen. All massively, God is merciful unto us. It can reduce and the election can go on. And then we wait for the result, and we may not get it for 2 weeks because people are fighting over it under the table. And we may get it, and some people may not like it, and may start a revolt against it. Anything is possible. It's a weird and barbaric road, and nobody can tell what we shall find on it. Are we going to see flowers on both sides of the road, or are we going to have dragon snakes chasing after us? We don't know. We must pray that our innocent people will be protected, that our innocent people, our unarmed, peaceful, innocent people will be protected in spite of all. That's all.
Yeah. Baba, another area that I want to say is, that is also part of my own question. Accountability, transparency. How important is that? How much premium should we put on that on accountability and transparency while we are continuing this journey.
How important is what?
Accountability and transparency.
PDP as against APC?
No.
Eh?
Accountability.
Accountability.
Transparency.
Accountability?
Yes. How important is it to this journey?
Why are you going to what that has no relationship with Nigeria? Nigeria has
no. About us, about Yoruba, about us, about this during this journey. Because large number of people say to me outside that Kosa accountability, Kosi transparency. People are still saying it. And I say, well, I'm going to put it to you as the national leader.
Well, in our own country, accountability is going to be everything. Accountability is going to be everything. I repeat, accountability is going to be the foundation of every kind of public action. I won't say more than that.
Okay.
We cannot come from the jungle and darkness of Nigeria and then just continue to create another jungle and darkness to replace it. We cannot do that. A major part of the reason why we want to leave Nigeria is we are tired of the darkness of government generating poverty, almost intentionally generating poverty, because they believe that if the people are poor, then the government will be able to control them better. That's, yeah. So government generates poverty. They've created, the most powerful political elite in the land has produced the most frighteningly poor class of people in the world, the Almajiri. No. Accountability, I repeat, is going to be at the bottom of everything. A young man joins politics. Maybe he was a clerk in an office. He comes out, he knows how to maneuver his way, and he becomes a governor. In a few years, he becomes the richest person on the African continent. How do those things happen? Can we let those kinds of things happen in our country? No. 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 A young man has been a governor for 4 years, and then he cannot be a poor man for the rest of his life. And he doesn't have to do any job. And he can go building mansions from money that he has accumulated in the 4 years of governorship. No, it's weird. It's weird, and it's something we will never let happen in our country. I'm talking for the young Yoruba people who are listening to me. No matter what you are, you may be abusing me or not. I know you agree with me in one thing: that your country will never make it possible for anybody to use public office to accumulate unreasonable wealth. You will never allow it. About that, you and I agree, absolutely. About other things, we may disagree, but I know that 100% of you agree with me about that. Yes. That you are not going to allow your country to become a place where the politician in the 2 or 3 years of being a governor or senator or whatsoever will become one of the richest men in society. You will not allow it. So you and I agree absolutely in that.
Yeah. Baba, I must say I'm a little bit not too happy with the network. The network is a problem. I've interviewed you many times, and I've enjoyed keeping your company. I've also believed that you and I come a long way when I used to be the media, something, and then we talk regularly. And I have no doubt in my mind that I was able to deduct certain qualities in you that I have no doubt in my mind that it will take a long time to change that. But this time around, because of so many things going on, àwọn kan jẹ́ pé I use the word innuendos. So it might not be very important in this discussion, in this part of it, but it's also part of the thing that is bothering a large number of our people in the area of àwọn tó ń send the voice note káàkiri títì tó kàn ń sọ jákujàku wọ́nranwọ̀nran wérewère àwọn tí wọn ò ní logo. Baba, it's very sad you cannot hear me very well. I might have to bring you back, Baba, when the line is going to be better. I might have to bring you back. I know we like to keep company of each other. But I mean, I don't want to stress you. And it hurts me. It's not your fault. So maybe next time I will have to rearrange and make time for a more convenient time. Mr. Balola, you are there, you are hearing me. One other time that Baba is going to be late. I need to bring him back. There are a couple of people who they can ask questions. And I feel bad that I'm
but you say it in a few words. Maybe I can get what you're saying.
I have tried to say it in very few words, but it's not your fault. It's not my fault. I can see that this you are feeling. I mean, I'm stressing you because of the problem of network. It's nothing to do with any. I mean, you are free. You have never sent me a question in advance. I always ask you question direct from what I know. So
yeah, you seem to be asking a question about me as a person.
Yes, I want innuendos. People that are saying I think some of us are dealing with that because I think it's very sad. The only thing they can see, they cannot understand that you are doing a great job. It's nothing to do with your private life. So for anybody to choose to want to come and start saying silly things about anybody's private life, I think it's very sad. It shows clearly so I want to appreciate you. I want to somebody on the phone. Maybe if people cannot phone, that's fine. It would have been nice if people can phone in. Can you hear me now, sir? I think the network and the camera, everything is just
okay.
Baba,
yeah.
You have to. I have to bring you back again because a large number of people want to ask questions, but with this kind of network, it's not good. I want to appreciate you for coming, for giving 2 hours of your evening time. I want to appreciate you. For those of us who have heard Baba talking, please help me share to other friends and family and other members of this community, Yoruba community, so they can hear what you say. Well, it has been like that. I also have another appointment. I've wanted to spend 2 hours with him. It's gone over by 12 minutes or so. Baba Modupe Loyin Eshegon, Amani láti make arrangement me láti come again. Shegbosa. The networking.
Yes, sir.
Networking. There are Amani láti make arrangement. Àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ béèrè questions gan, but the network is not.
Okay. Networking okay, rara.
Hello, who is this who's speaking?
Networking. Networking okay, sir. So next time.
Yeah, the last question, any idea what it is about.
I understand.
You were asking
what's the question? What do you?
No. I'm not asking a question, I just have a contribution.
Okay, what's your contribution?
Okay, good.
I've just said that. Yeah.
Okay.
I've just said that.
Okay. Now, because you will remember you were the first person to target of blackmail. So, in fact, I have to confess to you, because then it was as if you were the problem. Only to majority of us, maybe you need target pé ó wá tẹ àwa lórí target ó dẹ̀ sọ gbogbo àwọn teachers kọ̀ọ̀kan ní gúúpù kọ̀ọ̀kan ó dẹ̀ mú gbogbo wọn balẹ̀. Now after she was done with you ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí ìlànà ó fèsì lànà àwọn òṣèpẹ́ òun ṣe kíníkan ó kún bẹ́ẹ̀ ó lọ sí YCM ó tẹ àwọn rú kíníkan ó kún bẹ́ẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ mú gbogbo wọn ó dá ìdíjà náà ó bẹ́ẹ̀ bí kejì. Now sometime in October last year I was briefed pé lady yìí ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún àwọn interest kan ní.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Somebody briefed me wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣàlàyé gbogbo ẹ̀ fún mi. Now mo fẹ́ pé Koiki I told Koiki but Koiki said pé kí lọ mú evidence wá. So fún kọ́ńtẹ́nì àtẹnìyẹn mo ń tẹ̀ láti
mo change network.
nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣá ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ fún yín sí because mo sì rí pé it's so sad that some people tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n sì ń tẹ̀lé létí yìí and it's just so sad. Now ẹ jẹ́ sọ ọ̀gá tó ṣẹlẹ̀ mo jẹ́ òwe dúpẹ́ tẹnu mọ́ pé òun ti ní tẹ́lẹ̀ mo ti ní kinní kan.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Don't joke with what she say she knows what she say. Ṣé ẹni kan tẹ́tẹ́ fi ṣe wọ́n fi ṣe plan B ni. Ṣé láwọn Tinubu in fact tó ti wá ní problem ni pé ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ bá rẹ pé ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Tinubu. Ṣé láwọn Tinubu náà lò kọ́ tó gbà náà make agreement within themselves ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Tinubu náà lò ní as option B.
Ọba náà ṣé òun gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń sọ kó lè bá mi ṣàlàyé fún bàbá.
Wọ́n gbọ́.
Tinubu bá ti lulẹ̀ tó bá ti lulẹ̀ gbà tó bá switch sí Yorùbá tó bá ti pé kò sí wèmí tó bá ti switch sí Yorùbá nation wọ́n fẹ́ sáré take over nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe ní and they have had this plan initially kó tó di pálá àfikún wọ́n fẹ́ lo bọ̀bọ̀ wá sọ̀rọ̀ kìíní tó fẹ́ fi joyè kan gbà yẹn tó fẹ́ lò tó fẹ́ ṣe ìlú nǹkan kan yẹn unfortunately aláàfikún náà fi lọ gbé woman yìí wá. Now, for the people that are trying to blackmail Baba, ṣáyé gangan ṣe ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ blackmail Baba torí ẹ̀ tó ti jẹ́ pé àwọn leaders ni wọ́n ń attack. Wọ́n fẹ́ blackmail Baba nígbà tí wọ́n ti ṣe wọ́n fẹ́ fa Ìgbòho mọ́ra. By the end of the day, they couldn't speak Baba and Ìgbòho torí ẹ̀ náà ṣe ń attack Ìgbòho náà. So they know what they are doing. But this thing that this lady is doing, she is credited with whatever she is doing.
Ẹ ṣe sẹ́.
Gbogbo àwọn tó ní attack Baba, ìyàwó Baba kìíní kan. See, you let anybody's personal life out of this struggle.
Ẹ ṣe sá.
Onígbà tó kẹwàá pẹ̀lú life of anybody.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
And let's focus. Lastly, for the people that are saying, Baba ò ní plan, Baba ò ní kìnìkan. Right from the beginning of this struggle, Baba got 35 pages paper. It's just that our people don't read.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Baba got 35 pages of how to get to our promised land. You better go and read it. I don't ever want somebody just come from nowhere.
Ẹ ṣe sá.
And claim it is God that is giving that.
Ẹ ṣe sá. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ yín sá. Thank you. Unfortunately, PA wọ́n gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ń sọ because the network is very bad. And I
heard what he was saying.
Fantastic. Very good, sir. Baba, mo fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ yín sá. Ipe you giving me your time. I know how busy you are. And some of the outstanding questions, most importantly, when you unveil the people that are going to be people working with you, and also unveil the other backup arrangements, which some people take it to be plan B, the media, and some other things. Yes, legislate, but at the end of the day, we can still manage, make do with what we have. Baba Moduba Loisa, and I said when you money, I'm looking forward to be like you when I get to 88. I still want to look like 70 something.
Yeah, it's all the gift of God.
I said the same thing. I don't take it for granted. I look forward to 3rd of March. You know, Column Komojo do from Guba. But once I see 40, 50, take away all, you know, Oluwa jẹ́ kọjá 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Amen. So, and then, Baba, we're looking forward to celebrate your 90. Like we're living, you know, and so very well. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
So, but my better line, man. I need to some at everybody. God bless you. Okay. Sir.
Okay. Thank you all. God be with you. I love you all.
Thank you, sir. Sir. Bye-bye. Well, I want to end this broadcast with a simple message. à ń búra wa à ń ṣe gbà ń ṣàwò. Some people will say báwo ni mo ṣe ń dà bá má dáhùn bá má, sometimes you need to let some people understand pé wọn ò ní monopoly láti máa sọ̀rọ̀ sí anybody lára. Àgàgà you have no right when I have a guest anybody máa bú guest mi kí n máa sọ̀rọ̀. Of course ẹ lè àyèmọ́ èèyàn ló lè ṣù láti bú bàbá ẹ̀ àti ìyá ẹ̀ nínú ilé ẹ lè pè ìyá yín lájẹ́ ẹ lè pè bàbá yín ní ẹ̀hànnà nítorí báwọn ilé lè ṣe, but not that people see that has the heart of millions of people at heart, because the question keep coming up pé ibo ni bàbá ìyá àwọn ẹlòmíín wà tí wọn jáde síta táàrí wọn tí wọn fẹ́ jẹ tí wọn fẹ́ jẹ wọn fẹ́ ná wákàtí títì. So mo dúpẹ́ lọ yín fún ẹ̀yin tí comply tẹ rò pé bóyá it's a good opportunity to flex your muscle. I have a good knowledge of what is going on. So mo dúpẹ́, God bless you. The broadcast will end now. If anybody still want to get in touch with me, feel free, call me. We can talk one-on-one. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.